In 1900, fewer than 1 in 5 American workers had a white-collar job. By the end of the 20th century, that number had skyrocketed to nearly 3 in 5. This wasn't just a change in jobs, it was a seismic shift in the structure of society. It was the birth of a new kind of person, the salaried professional. It was the journey from the factory floor to the corner office, a journey powered by a surge in corporate growth and 2 surprisingly simple inventions. The Industrial Revolution created factories, but it also created paperwork. As companies grew from small family workshops into giant national corporations, they faced a crisis of information. They needed a new army of workers, not to run machines, but to run the business itself. They needed clerks, bookkeepers, accountants, and managers to handle the flood of orders, invoices, internal memos, and correspondence. This was the dawn of the modern office and the beginning of the rise of the white-collar worker. The first key invention that fueled this revolution was the typewriter. Before its widespread adoption in the late 19th century, every single business document had to be painstakingly handwritten. It was slow, often difficult to read, and created a bottleneck for communication. The typewriter changed everything. Suddenly, a single worker could produce clean, legible, standardized documents at a speed that was previously impossible. This dramatically increased the pace of business and created a massive demand for a new profession, the typist, a role that opened the office door for millions of women to enter the workforce for the first time. But the typewriter created a new problem, a mountain of paper. How do you organize and find a specific document among tens of thousands? The answer was the second key invention, the vertical filing cabinet. Patented in 1898, it was a simple but brilliant system for imposing order on chaos. It allowed information to be sorted alphabetically, stored efficiently, and retrieved with incredible speed. The filing cabinet was the physical database of the 20th century corporation, the engine of the new information economy. Together, the typewriter and the filing cabinet created the essential infrastructure for modern corporate bureaucracy. This new system required a new kind of worker, educated, salaried, and loyal to the company. This was the new middle class described by sociologist Wright Mills. Unlike the old middle class of small business owners and farmers, these workers didn't own their means of production. They were employees, cogs in a vast administrative machine, trading their specialized knowledge for a steady salary and the promise of upward mobility on the corporate ladder. So, is a steady salary in a large corporation a better path to security than owning your own small business? Let me know in the comments. The rise of the white-collar worker is the story of a new kind of economic asset, human capital. Human capital is the value of a worker's education, knowledge, and skills. Unlike a factory worker whose value was primarily in their physical labor, the white-collar worker's value was in their brain. They were paid a salary, not an hourly wage, because the company was investing in their accumulated knowledge and expertise, which they would use to make decisions, manage processes, and generate new ideas. This created a new economic imperative for families and individuals, investing in yourself. To get a good white-collar job, you needed an education. A high school diploma became the minimum requirement, and a college degree became the golden ticket to the managerial class. This spurred a massive expansion in public education and universities across the country. People began to see education not just as a path to enlightenment, but as a direct financial investment with a clear and predictable return in the form of a higher salary and a more secure career. But the new white-collar world demanded more than just technical skills learned in school. As the sociologist Wright Mills argued in his landmark book White Collar, it created a personality market. In a world increasingly focused on sales, management, and customer service, your personality itself became a commodity. Friendliness became customer service. Charm and persuasiveness became salesmanship. The ability to be a team player and navigate office politics became essential for promotion. You weren't just selling your skills, you were selling a pleasant, manageable version of yourself. This, Mills argued, led to a new kind of alienation, where even your own personality could feel like an instrument for the company's profit. The white-collar world cemented the idea of the corporate ladder as the primary path to success. You started in the mailroom or as a junior clerk, and through loyalty and hard work, you could climb your way up, rung by rung, to a management position with a bigger office and a better view. This promise of social mobility was a powerful engine of the American dream for much of the 20th century. It created a stable, predictable career path where you could expect to spend your entire working life at a single company, trading loyalty for security. Then, the essential office technologies were the typewriter and the filing cabinet, tools for creating and organizing physical information. Now, the essential tools are the computer and the cloud, for creating and organizing digital information. Then, a white-collar job meant the promise of lifetime security at one company, a predictable climb up the ladder. Now, a white-collar career often means a series of jobs at different companies, a constant race to update your skills to stay relevant in a landscape increasingly shaped by outsourcing, contract work, and the gig economy. The rise of the white-collar worker transformed our society, creating a new middle class and a new vision of the good life based on education and corporate loyalty. But as Wright Mills saw, it also created a world of bureaucracy, conformity, and a new kind of workplace anxiety. As we enter an age where AI threatens to automate many of these same white-collar tasks, we have to ask, what is the next great transformation of work, and what will it ask of us in return? Follow along for more thought-provoking history at the Human Timeline TV.